Good morning, YouTube. It is day 1 of week 2. I am just getting up and I'm about to start getting ready. Instead of like shooting an immediate morning update, I thought I would just wait a couple seconds and get a few things done first. Monday's usually my most busy day because I got to get everything ready for the week. So I just thought I would do this update really quick. Last night I updated the end of my week 1 blog. If you're interested in seeing week 1, look up here somewhere. Link will pop up for that. I started Of Women in Salt last night, which is a book about a Cuban family living in the United States. And I just got a few pages in. I want to say I'm like 20 or 30 pages. I'm gonna work on finishing that up today. Also have my TBR for December up now. So if you're interested in what my TBR is, look up here as well. Link will pop up. So I'm gonna get through Of Women in Salt real fast. It's about 200 pages. I should probably be finished tonight or tomorrow night. And then I gotta dive into one of these hefty books that's on my TBR. Otherwise, I will never finish it. So that's about it. Not much going on. I also need to pick out a new audiobook to listen to. I'm not sure what I'm going to listen to yet. I'll have to see what I'm feeling when I get to work. Actually, if I have time to listen to an audiobook at work today or not. So that's about it. I gotta get going. Sorry, I'm a little sleepy. I've got to get going. Yesterday was super productive. You'll see some of it in my week 1 blog if you go back to that. Other than that, I'll update on the writing later tonight. Bye. It is lunchtime for me, and I did kind of a dumb thing today. I prepped lunches yesterday at home, and I packed it into my lunchbox, and then I left it sitting on my counter. Yay. Kind of frustrating because I'm trying not to spend excess money, and I'm trying to eat a healthy. I did get a relatively healthy option. There's a place around the corner called Greens and Proteins. They do wraps and sandwiches and salads and stuff. So I got myself a relatively healthy option, but kind of sucked to have to spend money that I wasn't planning to. And no progress on audiobooks because I also left my AirPods at home today. I had them out last night because I was using them to edit videos so that Oz doesn't have to listen to the same clips over and over and over again. And I forgot to put them back in my purse. So I am 0 for 2 today. But that's okay because I actually have a book with me from my TBR this month. If you haven't watched my TBR video, check out the link up somewhere up there. Actually, I think I linked it in the first clip. So you'll see a link pop up somewhere for my TBR for the month. And my theme of the month is books that are intimidating to me. Trying to clear out some of the hardest reads, I think, before the new year starts. Get some of the things that have had me stuck for a little while. So the book that I brought with me today is Push by Sapphire, that got made into the movie Precious. And it's a little intimidating to me because of the emotional impact of it. I know it's going to be a really sad book. So it's short. I figured I'd get the shortest one done first. So here it is. So I'll get to my desk with my lunch and hopefully be able to read a handful of pages. I want to say that I should be able to finish this book tonight. And then I also started Of Women in Salt yesterday, which is not on my TBR. But it was a book that Oz picked out for me a while back when he did this 5 books that my boyfriend picked out video. So I'm going to work on reading that a little bit throughout the week as well. So it's the end of night 1, Monday of week 2. And I did pretty good with reading and everything today, I think. I started Precious today, and it's pretty depressing. So my book list, my TBR for the month is books that are intimidating, and this was one that I wanted to read for a long time, but kind of been intimidated by the emotional content of it. I know like roughly what it's about, and so, you know, of course I know it's a sad read. I mean, I hope that it's gonna have a hopeful ending, but a lot of depressing stuff happens to get there. And so I picked that up today, and I think I'm about halfway through the book. Precious has just started at an alternative school, and she's learning, you know, and I mean, there's like hopeful moments in it, but there's a lot of depressing still. It's really interesting because it's written in her voice, and so everything's spelled phonetically. which is very interesting. It gives a very distinct sound to the story. I can imagine it as if she were talking to me, which is a nice quality in a book. It gives it some character, and it kind of helps you ground yourself in Precious's world. So I'm really actually liking it so far. I mean, it's very, very sad. A lot of really sad subject matter, a lot of trigger warnings for the book, but it's really interesting. So I read about half of it tonight. I'm gonna probably finish the other half tomorrow. I think there's like maybe 70 pages left. So shouldn't be too hard to get done. Kind of just needed to take a little break from it because, like I said, the subject matter is really difficult. I did get a little more of Evelyn Hugo in as well. I don't know if that's gonna be any less depressing. It's good so far. I am at the point where our main character has sat down with Evelyn and started to discuss her history. She's just like at the very first meeting. And it's really interesting hearing what Evelyn went through and how she got to where she was. I'm curious to see how the story continues from where it's at right now. Kind of makes you reconsider like fame and what people have to go through to get where they are. I'm enjoying the book so far, so I'll be curious to see where it goes. And then I also have Of Women in Salt going. That one is, I read a little bit yesterday, which I started on like last week's blog, like the very last day. So I'll be finishing that throughout the week as well. So off to a good start so far. Get to bed now so I can be well rested for the morning. Morning. It's Tuesday, 6:30ish. Sorry, I've been awake since about 5:30. I woke up this morning because there was a lot of airplanes flying in, and then there were some cats yowling outside of my room. So the best sleep, pretty tired. Gonna get some breakfast, or not breakfast, lunch is packed, and then I think from there I'm gonna just sit down and read. I have most of my social media stuff done for the day. I already finished my Instagram. It's up and going, and I have my video already edited for tonight, or not tonight, but this afternoon. Although if I have time, depending on how I am with the book, I'm going to finish editing the video for tomorrow. So we'll see. All right, well, here we go. I pre-prep my meals. We usually try to do them on Sundays, depending on what we're doing on Sunday. That way we're eating healthy throughout the week. Don't really like eating a lot of fast food. A, because, you know, it's a waste of money. And then B, because it's a lot healthier to just eat stuff that's homemade. Chilly here this morning. I guess according to the Weather Channel, the temperature is supposed to drop like a good 15 degrees this week, which is nice because in Vegas it's not been feeling like winter at all. It's been feeling like an extension of the end of summer for the last few months. So I'm glad that we're finally getting some cold weather. All right, I'm just ready. So I always leave a little note in my partner's lunches, and he always writes me back. It's kind of cute. We just do them in these little cards, right? So I'll write him a message, and then he writes me back, and then we keep them all. And my hope is to get a shadow box eventually and throw all the notes in there. I enjoy that a lot. So besides, who doesn't like getting a note in their box? Okay, there's his. There's mine. All right. Make some tea now. Sorry. All right. So while we're getting the tea ready, I read about half of Precious last night. Let me just say, it's a depressing book. I mean, I hope it's not going to end in a depressing way. I think that, you know, she's growing, and I'm hopeful that that growth is indicative of her changing where she's at in her life right now. But just all the things that she's been through, the way that she's been abused and prevented from thriving and growing as a person is just so, so sad. Going into it, you know, I knew that that was going to be the case. I knew that this was a dark and depressing book, but, you know, even still, it's difficult to read it, because you just want to, like, hold her and protect her from everything that's happening to her. You want to, you know, take away the pain. I know she's like a fictional character, but I think of all the people that she actually represents, and you just want to, like, hug her and make it all go away. And there's still a lot to see, and the thing that's sad especially is that, you know, she's like a mom, and so she's still a child herself, and so it's like, you know, if she doesn't make that change, then there's potentially two more children that are going to be stuck in a cycle of abuse the way that she was. So it's just, yeah, the implications are really dark, but I have a feeling she's gonna make some changes. I have a feeling that you know, she's gonna step forward and start lifting herself up. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna read some more of it right now. And I think once I get through that, I'm gonna focus on Evelyn and Hugo for a while. That doesn't seem like it's, you know, a super light subject matter either, but maybe not quite as dark as Push. So we'll see. Hey there, it is Tuesday. I've just got home from work. Just was turning on some of the Christmas lights. I don't think I showed you guys last week, but we decorated the front of the house too. So you can see we got decorations. We actually put our decorations like all the way down the railing and everything. So, and you can see our tree through the window, sort of. Anyways, it's nice having the house all festive. So I finished Precious this afternoon. Holy shit, what a book. It was really good, really moving, also horrifically sad. I feel like I kept thinking like things couldn't get worse for her, and then they do get worse, and I think that has to be it, and it keeps getting worse. And I feel like I've been reading a lot of those books lately, and I'm really not sure what's going on with that. So we'll see what comes of Women in Salt and The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And then I'm gonna pick another book to take off of my TBR. I had like 10 books planned out for this month that are like intimidating. So I think I'm gonna do one of the longer ones. There's a couple that are 700 pages plus and a few that are like 500 pages plus. So I feel like I wanna get started on one of those because it'll probably take me a little bit longer to get through them. And other than that, I came home to a bunch of packages. This is from a publishing company. It is from Houghton Mifflin Harcourt Publishing. I know what this is. This is a cookbook that I won on Goodreads. It is using fish sauce as like the primary ingredient. So I'm gonna do an unboxing of that in a little bit. And then these two big boxes here are groceries. I'm trying out Imperfect Foods. They are a company that sells like misshapen or leftover groceries. So like, for example, like bell peppers that might be too small, or onions that are a little smaller, or like if the store has too many bananas and they need to get rid of them, they special them. So it's supposed to cut down hypothetically on food waste. They have all sorts of products: meat, fish, juices, canned foods, dry goods, everything that you could possibly need. And you order at a certain point in the week and they drop it off like on your designated delivery day. So Tuesday is my designated delivery day. So I'm gonna pull this all apart and get everything packed away and then start trying to figure out dinner. I think it's gonna be a quiet night, so I should be able to get some reading in later. I'm also gonna shoot a video tonight, a recipe video. So I'll try to give you guys some behind the scenes from that. And I think that's about it for now. I'll update a little more detail on Precious later this afternoon. Okay, so got the whole grocery thing unpacked. Kind of a fun thing getting the groceries in boxes like this. They have, as you can see, like a ton of different stuff. All the different meats that I got. I have lamb, pork, beef, chicken. Got my waters, juices, got truffle butter. This stuff is the best. I love this. I put it in pastas and everything. And vegetables, some different like artichokes and pestos and sun-dried tomatoes, vinegar, all sorts of fun stuff to play with. So I'll be using some of this in my recipes coming up for sure. Really excited that everything looks very good. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty pleased with this. It was easy to come home and have everything done for me. I don't have to hit the grocery store, and I just have to put it away now. Fun stuff. This is a cookbook that I won from Goodreads. It is all about working with fish sauce. So I'm guessing like a lot of Thai and Vietnamese recipes. Oh, it looks like all Vietnamese recipes in this one. And it is from Red Boat Fish Sauce, which is a brand that I've used and I really enjoy. So I'm actually super excited to try out some of the recipes in this. So tonight we are shooting one of my bookish recipes. We usually shoot one of these per week. Most of my other YouTube videos we try to shoot in advance, but the recipe one seems to be the one that we chronically are shooting the week of. I'm trying to find a system for getting a little bit better at it, so that it's a little less of a drain. Tonight I'm doing a corn chowder from the book The Sentence. This video was posted on Friday night, so you can go and check it out like right here and see what we made. I've got the boyfriend at work peeling corn because I want to get this done as quickly as possible. This is actually our dinner as well tonight. So that's usually what we do, is like whenever I cook the recipe, that's what we're eating that night. And I don't want to be eating at like 10 at night. So I'm hopeful that we can get started real soon. We're just finishing up the prep, like I said. So I've got some veggies cut. I'm finishing up the onions. Got potatoes over here, and then I've got Oz on corn peeling duty. So we usually set the tripod over in like a corner here. It's kind of turned away at the moment, but usually it'll be set kind of like that, and will shoot me cooking, and then Oz will bring it in like over my cutting board and shoot some scenes of me like cutting things, and then we'll put the pot like right here and show me cooking within, you know. So a little bit of the behind the scenes on the bookish recipes. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, and I have to remind myself constantly when I'm reading books to think about the food that I'm reading about so that I can do these videos. But it's probably my favorite bookish segment just because cooking is one of my great loves, and I've been a chef my whole entire life. So I don't really know what else, you know, to do. And then with books combined, like it just makes it all the better. So I enjoy it. I think it's probably my least watched video at the moment, but it's okay. It's a passion project. Maybe it'll catch on one of these days. How do you feel about it, Oz?
The result is what matters. No worries how much effort you put on.
Okay, there you have it. So we're gonna get back to finishing this video. I just wanted to give you a little sneak peek of how this usually goes. So yeah, look for that video. Like I said, there will be a link up here somewhere if you want to check it out. I actually have like 10 or 11 bookish recipes now at this point, so you should definitely go binge watch them all. Plan yourself a whole like meal with them and look at all the book themes to go with them. So I've just finished shooting my recipe video for the week. So this is what we do after we're done. Get our food, sit on the couch, edit more videos, discuss videos. Pretty much our life revolves around YouTube and Instagram right now. Not really, JK. Just maybe like 1 or 2 days a week we focus on social media stuff, and then other days we don't. But yeah, so Oz is watching back some of the clips right now. I'll slap it together in a video a little later on. Good morning. Today is day 4, Thursday, week 2. So I'm super excited because today is the first day in Vegas that feels like winter, really. It's been an unusually warm season. It's been up in the 70s, and we're like already in the beginning of December. Usually by now it's like in the 40s and super, super windy and rainy and cold. Usually by now we're getting snow on the mountains and things. So today I woke up, it's been raining all night, it's pretty cold, pretty windy, feels like a proper Vegas winter. So I'm excited. I got to get my trench coat out and my scarves and my knit dresses and boots and all that kind of stuff. So I'm very, very happy for that. That's why I'm all bundled up. Feels more appropriate for this time of year. I don't have much of a reading update this morning. I had some other things that I had to get done besides reading. So I thought I would spare you like all the boring details of just, you know, me doing stuff around the house and getting ready. Today after work, we're supposed to go for dinner for Oz's company. So probably not too much reading today at all. I am going to start a new audiobook at work, I think. We'll see how the day goes. But my plan is to start a new audiobook. I did bring the Santa suit with me again to work as well. I meant to start that yesterday. I kind of put it off. So we'll see if I get it started today. I don't know. Romance is not my preferred genre, so that's why I've been like a little hesitant to get it started. Other than that, I am working on Of Women in Salt. I did finish Evelyn Hugo last night, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which was really good. I liked it. I definitely don't think it was like the most mind-blowing book I ever read. It's, in my opinion, a little overhyped for sure, but it was good. I was happy with it. I didn't feel like mad for reading it or like I wasted my time, which is always nice. So yeah, Of Women in Salt is what I'm currently reading. It's short. Hopefully I'll be able to knock it out today and tomorrow. I've been kind of at the 30 page point. I had started it like over the weekend and then kind of put it down, got distracted by other stuff. So I'll be working on that for the next day or two to try and get that cleared off. And then we'll see what comes next after that. I have a couple, you know, things in the works. I pulled a House of Sand and Fog off of my TBR to read, but now I'm not so sure that I want to read that right at this moment. So I might actually put that one back and maybe pick up one of the bigger ones. I've been kind of thinking about Insomnia by Stephen King, which is like almost 800 pages, the biggest thing on my TBR and probably one of the biggest books I own. So maybe I'll switch out House of Sand and Fog for that one. We'll see how it goes. As you can tell, I have a hard time making up my mind when it comes to reading books. I'm kind of an impulse reader, so we'll see. So that's it for now. I'm headed to work. I'm going to be working the whole day and then, you know, going straight from work over to Oz's work dinner. And then when we get home, I have to bake a cake. We're going to a friend's house for dinner tomorrow night. And I told them I would bring dessert, so I'm going to make a cake tonight. Nice thing about that is I can tie it into one of the books that I read and create a book-related recipe for my Friday feature. I already have one for this week, but for next week, so that would be good because then we get a little bit ahead on the recipes. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, I'll check in later. If we do end up shooting a recipe, maybe I'll shoot you some behind the scenes. Today is Sunday morning, and we're headed on a little short trip over to Boulder City, which is a little bit east of Las Vegas. It's over by Lake Mead. It's a cute little town. There's good restaurants, little shops. You know, it's a fun place to go have some lunch and walk around. Oof, that light is crazy. We're having some really nice winter weather. It's like in the 50s today, right?
52 right now.
Yeah, so we're just gonna go enjoy the cool weather now that it finally feels like winter. And
We got 33 this morning.
yeah, it was like freezing, literally freezing this morning. So we're gonna go have some lunch, walk around town a little bit, check some stuff out, and then head home in the evening. I'm gonna cook a big roast dinner and do a little bit of reading and social media stuff. So we'll get through that and then do an end of the week update.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind, when we rewind, feels so nice.
So it is Sunday evening, the end of week 2, and I'm just going to give you the stats. You saw my lovely adventure to Boulder City throughout the day today, and the thing that you didn't see is that Oz and I actually stopped by the local animal shelter on the way home. We're not really ready to adopt a new dog yet. Gibson passed like 2 weeks ago, and so we're still feeling, pretty sad about that, and we're not quite ready to replace them yet. But we were thinking that, there's lots of dogs that need to be fostered. Vegas is a rough city in terms of people leaving pets behind because it's so transient here. So unfortunately, the shelters get inundated with pets. We were looking at the local shelter, and they have like tons of dogs that are up for adoption, but they also have a bunch of dogs that are looking for foster homes. And we thought that maybe fostering would be the right step for us right now. They have commitments for a couple weeks at a time, all the way up to a couple months, depending on the needs of the dog. And we walked around the shelter for a good hour and a half, visited with all the puppies, saw the ones that are looking for fosters. There's a couple of dogs that were looking for fosters that we really connected with. So we went ahead and filled out a foster application, and I've called over to the foster apartment to find out, what I need to know, what the commitments are for the particular dogs we were looking at. And I think that might be something good and exciting for us, kind of help us, heal, but without that permanent commitment. Hopefully we can help some dogs in need, recover, deal with, any kind of training issues that need to be dealt with, and then help them find a forever home that is, ready to dedicate that much love and care to them. So I think we're going to be doing that. I'm really excited about that. I think Oz feels really good about it too. So that's just a little tiny update. And then what else? Oh, reading, the books. So I know that at the beginning of the week, I talked a lot about Push, aka Precious. This book was actually republished and renamed Precious, like the movie, by Sapphire. This book was really sad, and it was really good, really well written. I'm glad that I read it. It was very, very interesting in the way that it's written in the character's voice, and we kind of go on this journey with her as she learns to read and write, and as her reading and writing becomes better. So that was really interesting. I enjoyed it. Definitely kind of a depressing book, but for sure worth the read. And it's very short, so while it is depressing, it's not like The Great Alone where it drags on for hours on end. And then I also completed Of Women in Salt by Gabriella Garcia. This book was a little different than I was expecting. It features 3 main characters. Carmen is the mother, and she was born in Cuba around the time of the revolution. Her daughter Jeanette was born in Miami and is suffering from drug addiction problems. And then there's a child in the story. I can't remember her name, but I want to say it was Ana. And Ana is from El Salvador. Her mom brought her over illegally. And their 3 stories kind of weave in and out of each other. So basically, we learned that Carmen left Cuba because she had a disagreement with her mother, and she also lost the man that she loves in the revolution. And she came to the United States pregnant, had her daughter, and then her daughter grew up with a stepfather and didn't have necessarily the best life. And as an adult, she suffered from drug addiction. And where the younger girl, Anna, comes in is that her mother gets deported and she gets left at her home by herself. And Jeanette realizes that she's there and takes care of her for a little while, tries to help figure out what to do with her. So the story is told from 3 POVs and kind of in a non-linear format. It was very interesting, definitely a little different than I was expecting. Based on the description, I was kind of expecting more of a family, kind of a bonding story where Jeanette and Carmen don't understand each other because they're both born in different times, in different situations. And then, Jeanette goes home to Cuba and maybe that helps her understand her mother more. But it didn't really feel like that. In fact, I felt like Carmen and Jeanette never came to understand each other. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one yet. I did appreciate seeing a very realistic portrayal of Cuba and the differences between people in Cuba. My partner is from Cuba and lived there until he was 15. And so a lot of the things that he's told me about his experiences growing up there were, mirrored in this book as well. So I do think that it was pretty accurate on that front. I also completed the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I had that on my Libby app, and I really enjoyed that. It was my very first time reading Taylor Jenkins Reid, so that was exciting for me. I did really enjoy the book. I think having some time to sit on it and think about it, I think what I said in the beginning was pretty true. It was really good, but not necessarily like revolutionary or life-changing. I know that on like TikTok and Booktube and Bookstagram and everything, it gets portrayed as like this book that's going to change your life and, be like mind-blowing and everything. And I mean, I think it was good. Definitely would recommend reading it. It's enjoyable. I don't know that it was like life-changing for me. I think it was interesting. It definitely portrayed like old Hollywood a specific way. And I think some of the stuff that it brought up was very accurate. But I don't know. As far as it being life-changing, I don't know. I kind of figured out a lot of the twists pretty early on. The main twist I didn't figure out really till the end, which was good. I'm glad that main twist got me. But a lot of the other stuff, I kind of called before it actually happened. All in all, though, good book. Glad I read it. And I started The Santa Suit by Mary Kay Andrews. This book, I'm only like 10 pages in. And it's funny because I think it's only like 190 pages, 180 pages, something like that. Let's see. 207 pages. It's a tiny little book, but there's just something so daunting to me about romance. I am going to read this for sure in week 3, though. I have to. This has to be read before Christmas, because if I don't read it before Christmas, I won't read it ever. So for sure, week 3, that's going to be one of the books I'm crossing off the list. And then I started the audiobook for Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I listened to a pretty decent chunk of that on Saturday while I was at work. And it's interesting so far. Also not what I was really expecting. I don't know why, because I actually hadn't really read anything about it. I had no idea what the book was about. Maybe it's because I've read a few of Moreno Garcia's other books. I had like expectations for her writing style. This book is like a historical fiction / noir. And for me, I feel like the noir part of it kind of threw it off a little. Wasn't expecting that. And it's not necessarily my favorite style of writing. This kind of had the vibe of like a gangster, like a 1920s gangster flick, which is okay. It was kind of like grungy. It tells the story of, I don't know how to explain it really. So when communism versus democracy was a big worldwide thing, right? And the US and Russia were fighting over locations, and having all these little by proxy wars. Basically, the US was terrified that Mexico was gonna lean into the communist wave. The influences of Fidel Castro and Che Guevara and all that, and the popularity in Latin America. They were really genuinely concerned that was gonna transfer into Mexico. So they sent CIA operatives down into Mexico to train like strikebreakers, basically. The strikebreakers, I guess they're not technically strikebreakers, they're more like protest breakers. But so you have students that are like out protesting, that are pro-communism, that are, kind of like a very liberal movement. And they send these groups out called the Hawks. And the Hawks are there to kind of ruffle up these student protesters and scare them away from, marching for these things. And from what I understand, the president got involved. All sorts of political people got involved. It turned into like a really big thing. And there was even a massacre of students where like hundreds of students got brutally beaten and quite a few got murdered. This is actual genuine Mexican history. So this particular book is based on that history. The main character is Maite, and she's a girl who kind of feels forgotten about. She doesn't have a good relationship with her family. She feels like not that attractive, like nobody's ever interested in her. And she's just kind of a misfit. And there's another guy named Elvis who's also kind of a misfit. And there's a couple other characters that, come into play. But basically there's a missing girl. She's got incriminating photos, and Maite gets dragged into this scenario that she did not anticipate. It was a pretty interesting book, or at least it's been so far. But yeah, it's a little different than I was expecting. I've got about like 20% left. So probably I'll be listening to the rest of that tomorrow morning at work. I'm a little tapped out on it for the night, to be honest. And then, tonight I started Black Sun. My book is in the other room, but I started Black Sun, finally, by Rebecca Rowan Horse. And that's on my TBR for the month. I'm about like 80 pages in so far, and I'm actually really enjoying it thus far. There's a lot of different characters, a couple different POVs, all set in different cities, different things going on. I'm really excited to figure out like what's happening. I'm sure that I'm gonna probably get through this one pretty quick because it is pretty interesting to me so far. So yeah, that was my week. A couple completed books, a couple books started, an audiobook, you know, mostly completed. Not a bad reading week. Yeah, 3 books complete, 1 audiobook almost complete, and started 2 more books on top of it. So that's about it. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. I'm new to the blog thing, so I'm still figuring out exactly what I want to do with it. And let me know in the comments what you read this week. Did you complete any books? Are you enjoying what you've been reading? You know, tell me everything about everything that you're reading. And if you're not already, hit the subscribe button with the notification bell. I do post regular video content, so I would love to see you there for more videos. Thanks so much. Have a good night. Bye.